Today, we report the results of a multi-year investigation of one of the most notorious gangs in California's prisons, the Aryan Brotherhood. To date, 2 grand jury indictments and a criminal complaint unsealed this morning charged 25 leaders, members, and associates of the Aryan Brotherhood with a host of crimes. Most significantly, the criminal complaint unsealed this morning includes an allegation of a violation of the federal RICO statute. Predicate criminal acts alleged in support of the RICO violation include 5 murders, conspiracies to commit 4 other murders, and a large-scale interstate trafficking operation involving methamphetamine and other drugs. The Aryan Brotherhood is a long-standing California prison gang composed of white men and which has presence throughout California's prison system. The AB is led by a commission composed of 3 members. The AB has hard and fast rules which it expects its members to follow. The leadership of the gang strictly enforces these rules. Members and associates can advance in the hierarchy of the gang by carrying out orders given by the leadership. 6 of the Aryan Brotherhood members charged in the complaint and included in the RICO allegation were all doing life terms for murder in the California state prison system at the time of the initiation of this investigation. In other words, they were already doing life for murders, none of which involved the 5 which I just mentioned in support of the RICO allegation. Those 6 are RONALD YANDELL, Daniel Troxel, William Sylvester, Travis Burhop, Michael Torres, and Jason Corbett. The 5 murders alleged were all of inmates and all took place inside California's most secure prisons. The AB leadership ordered, and its members carried out, the killing of 4 Aryan Brotherhood members for not following the gang's rules. The 5th murder was of a black guerrilla family member in retaliation for disrespect he had shown the Aryan Brotherhood. These killings took place at Salinas Valley State Prison, Folsom State Prison, and High Desert State Prison. Of the 4 alleged conspiracies to murder, 3 of the intended targets were inmates and the 4th was out of custody. For reasons I will explain shortly, law enforcement learned of the intended murders in advance and took action to prevent them from occurring. A number of associates of the AB are also charged with helping to facilitate a large-scale illegal drug distribution network. This network was directed by the Aryan Brotherhood leadership at Folsom State Prison, and it was undertaken for the financial benefit of AB leadership, members, and their families. The drugs involved largely were methamphetamine and heroin. The geographic spread of this drug trafficking included multiple state prisons, multiple California counties, Nevada, South Dakota, and Missouri. This investigation literally began with a street contact between a Vallejo police officer and a meth dealer. Through great work done by the DEA, CDCR, and the lawyers of the U.S. Attorney's Office, the investigation ultimately led to a federal wiretap of the cell phone of RONALD YANDELL. Mr. YANDELL is serving a life sentence for 2 murders committed in Contra Costa County and has been housed at Folsom State Prison throughout the duration of this investigation. His cellmate at Folsom has been William Sylvester, another of our defendants. Mr. YANDELL is one of the 3 members of the Aryan Brotherhood Commission. I note that Mr. Troxel, another one of our defendants, is also a member of the commission. So thus, in these criminal actions we've undertaken, 2 of the 3 members of the Aryan Brotherhood Commission now face federal charges. Through the wiretap on Mr. Troxel's contraband cell phone, we gained fulsome, extensive information about the Aryan Brotherhood and its criminal activities, including in great detail the murders, intended murders, and drug trafficking. The recordings of Mr. Yandell's many discussions with other AB members about the gang's criminal activities form the cornerstone of this case. We have undertaken a number of other investigative actions to build an even stronger case against Mr. Yandell and his confederates in this violent, large-scale criminal enterprise. I have described 4 intended hits that were ordered by the Commission. Because of the wiretap, law enforcement was able to move the intended targets to safe locations before the murders could be carried out. All but 2 of the 25 defendants are now in custody. In searches in the past few days, agents have found large amounts of heroin, methamphetamine, and fentanyl. In addition, multiple firearms have been seized. Finally, a house here in Sacramento, which we believe was purchased with drug sales proceeds and used by the Aryan Brotherhood as a stash house, has been seized and is part of a forfeiture action.
Welcome back to the channel. Happy holidays. I hope everybody had a safe holiday. We're going to get into this story about the ABs. That's right, the Aryan Brotherhood. Now this story right here comes to us straight out the penal system in California. So you heard in the beginning of the clip, there were a 2 grand jury indictment for 25 people in a RICO case, right? So, but what we heard in that first clip, they explained a lot of stuff, but they didn't tell us all that happened. You know what I mean? There's 25 people. They're still looking. They've arrested 23, and they're still looking for 2 more people. But the main 6 of the 25 is what we're going to cover in this video right here. So let's get into this article, because sometimes the article, people have been covering this case for years, can give us, shed more light to what was going on. Now, 2 California members of the Aryan Brotherhood prison gang were sentenced Wednesday to consecutive life sentences in the federal prison for the murder and aid of racketeering and other crimes committed while they were incarcerated in Sacramento area prison. Ronald Yandell, a leader of the neo-Nazi prison gang, was convicted of ordering 2 inmates to murder another inmate in 2015 at a California state prison. Now that was in 2015. So are you telling me they've been watching these guys that long? Or maybe not. Let's keep going. Also known as New Folsom State Prison, the 62-year-old Yandell of Pinole, Contra Costa County, had offered 2 inmates membership in the Aryan Brotherhood if they were able to kill a member of a rival prison gang, Hugo Pinell. Now, Hugo Pinell, he was part of the San Quentin Six. Now, if you guys don't know who the San Quentin Six is, I think you guys should look it up. I'm going to do a story on it a little bit later, but I don't want to divert from what we're talking about now. But Hugo Pinell was one of the guys, a member of the Black Guerrilla Family Gang, was one of the infamous San Quentin Six inmates charged following a deadly escape attempt in 1971. Are y'all listening to me? One of the guys they killed has been in jail before 1971. And I think they killed this guy in 2015. Court records stated that before his murder, Pinell openly antagonized the Aryan Brotherhood members with racist opinions, provocative statements, and was considered a high-value target for the enterprise. Okay, I can understand that. If he's a Black Guerrilla Family member, I can see how he wouldn't agree with their philosophy and what they're talking about. But when you say that he was antagonizing them, he was a 71-year-old man. But I guess when you're in prison, it don't really matter, man. And you know, as far as Yandell offering the 2 members membership to be a part of the brand, that don't always work out. You know, sometimes they just use these people as crash dummies, right? Because there's a certain type of member that they want in the gang. You see what I'm saying? They could just use this guy for a crash dummy. He could just be an associate and never ever make it to the brand, to the core part of the ABs. You know what I'm saying? He's just an associate, always on the outside looking in and willing to crash test dummy himself out for anything that these guys will put him up to. Let's get back to it. Now, after about a year After the murder, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency intercepted calls made by Yandell on his contraband phone, right, that they let him keep, in which he bragged about directing the murders and sponsoring the killers for membership in the gang. Yandell, who was serving 65 years to life for murder and voluntary manslaughter, also directed that money earned from the gang's criminal activities be directed to support the two murders. He was sentenced to 2 life terms plus 50 years. Now William Sylvester, that's Yandell's roommate. Cellmate, not roommate, excuse me. William Sylvester was also sentenced after being convicted of murdering another inmate at CSP Sacramento to earn his own membership to the Aryan Brotherhood. Now, the 56-year-old Sylvester of Norco, Riverside County, killed the inmate because he was a member of a rival gang that refused to recognize the Aryan Brotherhood authority. Now, you get a lot of that, right? Now, the main goal for this notorious prison gang, right? The ABs, the notorious, man, is a very dangerous gang. Very dangerous, man. Don't let some of these people's looks fool you, even if they're old. They're very notorious, right? Sylvester currently serving a life sentence without parole, and another inmate carried out the attack while in an extremely restrictive prison environment after substantial planning, using prison-made shanks to stab the victim multiple times. In April 2024, a federal jury found Yandell, Sylvester, and the co-defendant, Danny Troxwell, age 71, guilty of RICO conspiracy to commit murder in the aid of racketeering, and multiple counts of drug trafficking following a 9-week trial. Troxwell will be sentenced on February 18, 2025, and I definitely will be looking out for that. And I'm thinking he's going to get a life sentence, but does it really matter? Because they already have life sentences, so they had nothing to lose, right, to begin with. But I'm gonna tell you right this: they may have nothing to lose, but I tell you what they do. Because in the state of Colorado, we have ADX in Florence, Colorado, one of the most secure prisons in the world, right? You got El Chapo up there. You got some of the terrorist bombers up there, right? And I've heard in that place, hey man, you don't even see daylight, right? And you don't even talk to nobody, right? So there's a place for him. There's like another prison within a prison. He just hasn't experienced that yet. In California, they let them get away with murder, and I mean that literally, on the inside of the jails. But when you come, the Colorado, ADX, the Alcatraz of the Rockies, it's a totally different case. And speaking of case, the case was referred to Supreme County District Attorney's Office before he was sentenced. Yandell rose to address Mueller and denied the crime, saying prison officials targeted him for retaliation after he participated in a 2013 hunger strike at the state's notorious Pelican Bay solitary confinement unit. The Sacramento Bee reported that, right? Now, just to let y'all know, Yandell has also spent 11 years, people, in solitary confinement. Could you imagine what that can does to your psyche? 11 years of confinement and in solitary. Well, that's just a small taste of what he's going to experience at ADX. And I'm going to let y'all know, as soon as he touched down at ADX, I will do a video about it. Because I'm telling you, people, let me be the one to tell you first. That's where he's heading. Right? He just got sentenced not too long ago. But let me tell you, there's no other place for him. He's causing this much ruckus in the California prison, federal prison system. All right, we got a place for you, right? Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it, all right? So, now, between 2011 and 2016, the Aryan Brotherhood members and associates at the California prisons engaged in racketeering activity, committing multiple acts of involving murder, conspiracy to murder, and drug trafficking crimes. According to court documents, evidence showed that the gang members oversaw a major heroin and methamphetamine trafficking operation from their prison cells, with the drugs distributed on the streets of Sacramento and other California cities. Inmates use cell phones to direct their drug activities, order all kind of 187s, and oversee other crimes inside and outside the prisons. The Aryan Brotherhood gang formed within California state prisons in the 1960s and has since spread across the federal prison system. It has an estimated 15,000 to 20,000 members, both inside and outside, and authorities have spent decades trying to bring down this notorious organization. Now, prosecutors sought to move the most violent and influential gang members out of California's state prison system and into more restrictive federal prison units. Okay, now I'm not sure. I don't think. Hey, is somebody leave me a comment in my comment section? Is ADX a federal prison? I'm not sure, or is it just the most notorious prison you can go to, whether it's feds or whether it's state? It doesn't matter, right? I think it doesn't matter whether you're in the feds or whether if you're in the state. If you're going to go somewhere and be locked down where they know that you cannot cause more harm to anybody else, ADX is the place. Now, and that's where I think these Sylvester, who's been convicted, and Yandell has already been convicted. And that's 2 of the 3 of the commission, right? So they only got 1 more, and I already read it to you, right? So February 18th, 2025, I think Troxwell, he'll get another life sentence. You know what I mean? It was not clear when Yandell and Sylvester will be moved to CSP Sacramento to a federal prison. It says it's not sure when they would do that. Now, so all I'm saying is, man, so these guys right here are very notorious, man. They don't care about anything except for the core group, right? It's kind of like a gang. There's a hierarchy it is a gang. There's a hierarchy in the gang, right? And just because you're white don't mean that you're gonna get automatic membership. It doesn't work like that. Like I said before, there's a certain type of individual that they want, that they want in the gang, right? And if you're not made of that, you know, they can just lead you on for years and years. You might never be what the mob would say a made man. You might never be part of the brand, and you go out there and crash test yourself out for these people, and you get nothing in return. And a lot of the, like they said before, 5 of the people that were killed in jail, 4 of them were ABs. They were killing their own kind. The only one was the BGF, the Black Guerrilla Family dude, who was 71 years old. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I said before, I'm not into the gang stuff, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people and stuff, and that's not what we promote over here, right? We're trying to get away from all this negativity. I don't care if you black, white, red, or brown. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is above the law, and you cannot underestimate anybody, black, white, or brown. You just cannot do it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said before, I thought this was a very interesting story, man. Especially with RONALD Yandell, man. This dude has a lot. I've heard a lot of things about this guy in prison. You know what I'm saying? You can imagine 20 years in prison, and then you catch a RICO case. We don't know what you did before that. You see what I'm saying? You already done killed 5 people inside the prison system, and you had a hit on 5 more people outside of the prison system. If it wasn't for them monitoring your cell phone, and let me tell you how they got to even get to the case to monitoring his cell phone. A cop arrested a female on the outside. I mean, not a female, but a drug dealer on the outside. And you know what happened after that. They arrested him for methamphetamines, right? And I guess he spilled the beans. That arrest from that cop on the street led them to this RICO indictment. That's amazing. That's amazing right there. I don't know, man. That cop right now might be a detective. You know what I mean? I mean, for his career, that probably did wonders for his career. But like I said, man, RIP goes out to all the people who's been hurt by these notorious gang members, the ABs, you know what I'm saying? You got to keep your head on a swivel nowadays. If you're running around the streets and you might see a white boy with that green shamrock tattooed on him, be careful, man. He might be part of the brand, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, so we just got to be careful out here, you know what I'm saying? And there's nothing good about a gang. Nothing good comes to the gang, man. They kill their own, you know what I mean? They run around and you figure 20 years in jail, and this is the best y'all can do, right? You're not even trying to get out. I guess they would never get out. yeah, that's all I got for you, man. But if you guys want to look more, I think you guys should look up the San Quentin 6, man. That's crazy that they killed that 71-year-old man. That man had been in jail for 1971. I bet half the people listening to me wasn't even born in 1971, right? That's crazy to be in jail that long and then lose your life after you done spent like 50 years in jail. That is crazy to me. Rowdy Nation TV, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Anytime I drop a video, you guys can be notified. We out.